Thanks to major policy errors, we could be in for devastating electricity outages if we have a hot summer. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. Utilities are warning of rolling power outages this summer in many parts of the country. The reason is that demand will exceed supply if temperatures rise sharply. Texas is already grappling with constraints thanks to several plants undergoing maintenance while a heat wave hits the state. California is facing summer outages, and the crucial grid for much of the Midwest is also cautioning trouble ahead. The crisis is not the result of an unforeseeable surge for electricity. It's because of misbegotten policy errors. The biggest one is that for years, governments have been mandating that utilities use more and more renewable sources of energy, primarily windmills and solar panels, to generate power instead of fossil fuels and nuclear plants. Numerous coal and gas-fired power facilities are being closed. A number of nuclear power plants have been or are in the process of being decommissioned. Replacements are lagging. The trouble is that the technology of alternative sources is both costly and unable to meet our electrical needs. Advocates for renewables say they're needed to fight climate change, but consider the environmental hazards of what it would take to replace traditional sources. It would require, in coming decades, a 1,000% increase in mining for the necessary minerals. Ripping up millions of acres for this would pose horrific environmental costs. A 100-megawatt natural gas-fired power plant is the size of a typical residential house and supplies juice for 75,000 homes. As technology expert Mark Mills and others have pointed out, a wind farm to generate a similar amount of electricity requires 10 square miles of land, 20 turbines each taller than the Washington Monument, 50,000 tons of concrete, 30,000 tons of iron ore, and 900 tons of non-recyclable plastic for the blades. And to store the necessary electricity for around-the-clock availability would call for 10,000 tons of Tesla-class batteries. Multiply that farm a few thousand-fold, and the costly impracticability of such a transition becomes manifest. Or take costs. Over the last 20 years, $5 trillion have been spent by governments developing these alternatives. Yet today, the amount of energy supplied worldwide by fossil fuels has shrunk from 86% to 84%. $5 trillion for a 2% change? Just consider what that $5 trillion could have done in fighting lethal diseases, producing more food, and providing badly needed clean water in many parts of the world. Nonetheless, under intense political pressure, American utilities are ready to spend mammoth amounts of money on these costly, environmentally hazardous energy alternatives. The fact is that natural gas is a clean fuel, as even green-minded Europeans now acknowledge, and nuclear power poses no problem with carbon dioxide emissions. It's well past high time to have an unemotional examination of how to realistically meet our energy needs. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.